So we're gonna be playtesting Nalia. The purpose of this playtest is to review this commander deck to see whether it's worth buying or not. We did just finish sleeving it and opening it up. We're gonna be playtesting all of the other commander decks, so let's take a look and see what this is like. We're gonna draw. We're judging and reviewing this deck based on how it plays. So let's see if we have to mulligan here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember the Henzi Precon? We had to mulligan 4 times, guys. Do you remember that? That was an interesting day. So we have a High Priest of Penance, a Plains, which is a land, Swamp, land, Selfless Spirit, Soul Ring, Skull Clamp, 8.5 tails. I think we totally keep this hand. We need our lands. We're gonna hold on to the Skull Clamp, so I'm gonna put a Skull Clamp in our hand over here off to the side. And let's get down the Priest, and if we can play the 8.5 tails, we will, but let's hold on to the Selfless Spirit for a time that matters. Our commander costs 3 mana, so let's just play with these cards right now. I think it's a really good hand, guys. Good for you, Dorito. We're gonna draw into a Dusk and Dawn. Draw creatures with power 3 or greater. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, this is really good hand. Thank you for liking the video, guys. I just saw that. So we're gonna go ahead and get down this Plains, and then we're gonna technically just pass. No, we'll tap the Plains and we'll play our Soul Ring, and then we're gonna go ahead and pass the turn. We will now draw into a Grim Hireling. So I think what we do here is, I think let's just imagine, let's go, I think this is kind of devastating. Let's go, we'll tap 2 here. We'll play the High Priest of Penance. I'm gonna, wait, does this have flying? Wait a minute, I think we played the Selfless Spirit here, actually. So we're gonna play the Selfless Spirit from our hand, and I'm gonna put the Dusk in over here off to the side. We're gonna say we play the Selfless Spirit because it does have flying, so that our next turn we can cast the Grim Hireling, so we can deal flying damage and then create 2 treasure tokens. Because Skull Clamp, if guys, if I play Skull Clamp right now and somebody has a way to remove an artifact, they're just gonna delete it immediately. So I like to hold on to Skull Clamp for a time when I can play it, equip it, and use it on the same turn, as opposed to somebody just immediately destroying it. I can't tell you how many games I've seen where people do that. So we hold on to the Skull Clamp and wait for an opportunity to get something right away. So we're gonna go ahead and pass. We'll draw into a Swamp, which is nice. We're gonna play that Swamp. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll get down the Grim Hireling, which is going to allow us. Yeah, but we can save that as we just started the game, so I'm imagining that like that form of removal is probably not going to be too powerful at this point in time, but the High Priest into the Skull Clamp when we need to destroy a permanent is always there. I just don't think turn 1 it's going to be the most optimal. Turn 2 is going to be the most optimal use of that play, in my opinion. So we're going to end up getting 2 treasure tokens here, so I'm going to go ahead and grab treasure. We got a penny and then another penny, so we have 2 treasures. And then we're gonna go to combat because we dealt damage with this, and that's why we have 2 treasures right now. And then technically I don't know why we have 8.5 tails. Right now we have a cleric, a rogue, and we need a warrior. So how about we sack 1 treasure? How do we want to do this? let's sacrifice 1 treasure to play Skull Clamp, and then we'll pay 1 mana to equip that to the Grim Hireling. So if they do cast removal on a Hireling, we can draw cards. Because I would cast removal on my Hireling. So we're gonna pass the turn here, and what we're gonna say is that our opponent casts a removal on our Grim Hireling, like I said, and then Grim Hireling's gonna go to the graveyard, and I'm gonna get to draw 2 cards. 1, Dire Fleet Ravager, and a Magus of the Balance. So we still have a Cleric, Nalia is a Rogue, a Wizard. We still need a Warrior, like I said. Okay, so we'll draw 2, we'll untap, we'll draw for turn, Swamp. We'll play our Swamp here, and then Magus of the Balance. I think what we'll do here is we'll hold on to these 2. I think we want to draw cards right now, so I'm gonna go, I'll sack the treasure token for 1 white mana, I'll pay black, and I'll play the High Priest of Penance. And then I'm gonna tap the Swamp to equip this to the High Priest, so that he is destroyed. We get to destroy a permanent, so that gets destroyed, and then we draw 2 cards. 1, 2. We did get a Changeling, which is nice. This does cost 7 mana. And we have a Snowfield Sinkhole. I'll leave the land over here off to the side. A Valiant Changeling. So this spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature type among creatures you control. Okay. So I only have 1 creature. So this is just gonna go to our hand. I think we just... How about we play our commander right now? Let's get Nalia on the board. So Nalia is gonna enter the battlefield. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll equip Nalia with the Skull Clamp with the extra mana that we have left over from the Soul Ring. And then what we do is just pass the turn there. I mean, technically we could sacrifice a Selfless Spirit to give Nalia Indestructible. I mean, we could have even saved the Grim Hireling, but whatever. Let's say we dealt damage to the Selfless Spirit as well. And we'll go back to our turn. We will untap and then draw into a swamp. Do we need to play this land right now? Because we do have a another land here that we could play. So if we can create a full party right now, we could give each of our creatures Death Touch and a +1/+1 counter until the end of turn, technically. But that creature had 2 types, so it costs 4 less. What? What creature had 2 types? Tiefling Rogue? Like Spirit? How much does the Changeling cost right now? This is a human, a spirit, and then this is what 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this costs 5 mana to play. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. We could give him Indestructible too, so I kind of like this idea. So we'll play this tapped, and then we'll tap here, and we'll play the Valiant Changeling. And then we will go to combat. I can look at the top card of my library anytime because of Nalia. We have a Path of Ancestry on the top. Okay. And then right now all we're missing is a wizard in play to have a party. But this is what I'm saying, guys. We're like, it's now turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I still haven't assembled a party. So I just want to keep that in mind. And then we'll deal damage here for flying. I'm not gonna lose my Nalia right now. And then we'll pass. We will untap. After this turn, guys, the board is gonna get wiped. I'm gonna say it right now. Somebody plays targeted removal on Nalia. Alright. In response, I'm going to... Do I use the Selfless Spirit right now to save Nalia? I don't think I even do that. I think it happens. Somebody destroys Nalia. Nalia goes to the command zone. And then I get to draw 2 cards. And then we'll untap and then we'll draw into an Order of White Clay. This can get me my High Priest of Penance back. Technically. When Irregular Cohort enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 colorless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. You're probably right, Joe. So what we're gonna do right now is let's say that we cast a board wipe, guys. How about we cast a board wipe? I'm gonna play this Path of Ancestry. Now, let's play the Swamp right now. And then we're gonna go ahead and cast a Dusk. First of all, I'm gonna pay 1 mana. I'm gonna equip this Skull Clamp to the Valiant Changeling. And then we're gonna go, oh no, oh yeah, I can't do that. White, white, and then colorless, colorless. And then I'm gonna cast Dusk, and I'm gonna destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. So we essentially wipe the board. My Valiant Changeling will go away. I keep myself the Spirit. Thank you for liking the video. I'm gonna draw 2 cards off of the Skull Clamp. So 1, 2, Shambling Vent and Calculating Lich. We have 3 black mana left over, which means that technically we can't play anything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 cards in hand right now, and I don't think I have a way of casting a spell because we have no white. And I don't have enough mana. So I think right now, fortunately guys, I think we just have to pass a turn because I don't have any white mana to play anything. To think that we've shuffled and drawn and we've only drawn into 1 planes this entire time. So that's it. That's our turn. This turn feels kind of bad, but whatever. We wipe the board, and we have to go to discard. So I'm gonna discard the Path of Ancestry. And then we will untap. And then we'll draw into a Mutavault. Okay. And then we will draw. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand still. I want to get down the Calculating Lich, I think, here. How many creatures can get into play, actually? Technically, I could go... Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I have a land that enters untapped? Yes. So Mutavault. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Calculating Lich. Oh, so Cleric, Wizard. And then here's another Cleric. Do we have something else? That's a Wizard. That's a Wizard. I'd rather just get down the Kithkin, or I could play 8.5 Tails and then equip a Skull Clamp right now. But I do like the ability to get back the... Yeah, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna tap 3. I'm gonna play the Order of White Clay. And then we'll put our hand back over here. Guys, I'm playing the Order of White Clay here because I think that if we can protect our order with Selfless Spirit, next turn, I can return the High Priest of Penance to the battlefield, equip it to the Skull Clamp, draw 2 cards, and destroy a permanent. And then every turn that I keep my Selfless Spirit here to protect this, I can just continuously keep destroying permanents and drawing 2 cards. But, so that happens. And then we'll pass the turn there. We'll deal damage to Selfless Spirit. We'll untap. We'll draw. Maybe I should put an animation for when we pass the turn or something on the stream. Now that I just thought about it. We got Felisa, the Fang of Silverquill. So that's gonna go into our hand. I'm gonna say that we have. I'll play the Shambling Vent tapped. So now we have another land in play. And then I'm thinking that we... Yeah, I think we just go white, colorless. We tap the Order of White Clay to play the High Priest of Penance, to tap a swamp, to equip the Skull Clamp, to sacrifice the High Priest, to destroy a permanent, which would probably be a commander, and we draw 2 cards. We draw into a Malakir Blood Priest and then a Maskwood Nexus, which is amazingly strong right now. So I think we... no, we only had 2 islands, so we can't play Nalia right now. Yeah, the mana right now is what's really holding us back. So we can't play Nalia this turn, but let's just flood the board with as many creatures as we can, which is only like 1 or 2 creatures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana we have left over, and we can get down the Dire Fleet Ravager, and then each player loses 1/3 of their life, rounded up for no reason. And then we'll pass the turn, draw back to our turn. I mean, technically we would draw for turn. I could play Nalia. I could do the thing again with the Order of White Clay if we need something to remove, which I think is a powerful little combo that we have going on over here. And I think because we're playing against Precon, I think it would be safe to say that we would keep our Skull Clamp in play for an extended period of time. I like that we always had the Selfless Spirit here to protect our creatures. And I think that's going to be that for Nalia. I liked the little synergy with this and this. There are powerful cards in here. I did get rid of my Grim Hireling rather early, I will say. But the thing is, like, if the Grim Hireling was in play and was creating us treasure tokens, technically I could have protected it with the Selfless Spirit. But if I was creating treasure tokens with this, I would have had all of the mana to do anything. You understand? I would have had a lot of mana. I would have gotten many treasure tokens. So, a scale out of 10, nothing's ever really going to get a 10. I want to give this deck an 8 out of 10. And I would say that obviously, like, it's definitely worth buying. We never triggered party once throughout that game. But I think that what was surprising to me was, like, it never really felt bad not getting party. So because the cards were generally just good. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I think the deck plays really well. I definitely think it's worth buying. More specifically because the cards inside here are kind of expensive. It's good. But I will say that this ability at the bottom here, combat on your turn, you can have a full party, put a counter on each creature you control, those creatures gain death touch. I'm thinking that that play right there is much more of a game-ending thing as opposed to it being something that we trigger consistently. You know? I think that's a fair thing to perceive.